So with the default cube selected, press tab to enter edit mode. I'm going to press the number 2 to go to edge selection and grab this bottom edge here and use the move tool to slide it forward. Once we're satisfied, we're going to rotate around the rear, grab the bottom edge on the back, slide this back. Now let's grab these two side edges here. Let's use our scale tool on the left side. We're just going to scale this out to make it a little bit wide, and this will act as a cab later on. Now we're going to press 3 to interface mode, grab this bottom face, and then we're going to press E to extrude. I'm going to extrude it downwards. Now around the front, we're going to grab that front face, press E once again to extrude this forward. Let's rotate around the back and repeat that function. And once satisfied, deselect and then select all 4 of these top faces. And then what we want to do is press I to create an inset. And naturally when you create the inset, it's going to affect all 4 at the same time. But if you press I once again, you can individually select these. And once satisfied, just left click. With all 4 faces still selected, press Alt E to bring up the extrude menu and choose extrude faces along normals. Then just drag it inwards. Now let's rotate around the back and let's select these back 2 faces and let's press I to create an inset. And if you press I once again, we can select them both at once and we're going to just define the trunk. Now back around the front, we're going to select these front 2 faces, press I to create an inset, and we're just going to drag this in to about here to create the hood area. Now let's press Alt E to extrude along normals like we did earlier and just extrude outwards. Now we can begin the headlights. So let's select these front 2 faces here. Let's press I to create an inset and we'll just bring it to about here. Press 1 to go to vertices select and we'll select the bottom 2 vertices. And with the move tool, we'll just select this blue arrow to pull these upwards. Now we can press the number 3 to go back into face selection and we're going to just reselect these 2 front faces. Now let's press E to extrude outwards. Then let's press I once we're done with this so we can create another inset. And once satisfied, press E once again and we're just going to extrude inwards. Now we can make our way to the side of the vehicle and start defining the doors. So let's press Ctrl R to create edge loops and let's just slide 1 forward. And let's press Ctrl R once again and create another edge loop. Give it a little bit of thickness between the doors. Now we can press number 3 to go back into face selection and we'll select this face here and this one. Now we can press I to create insets. And these will be the door handles. So once satisfied, select one and let's use the scale tool to better scale this to match a handle over door. Once you're satisfied, we're going to go to the other one and just repeat that action. And with these selected, we can use the move tool now to better adjust these handles positioning. And now we can press E to extrude outwards. Select the top 2 faces, rotate around the bottom, select the bottom 2, and we can press I to create an inset. That looks good here. Now we can press D to delete and delete faces. Now press number 2 to go to edge selection and we can double click to select the ring. Rotate around the bottom, hold shift and double click to select the entire ring at the bottom, right click and then go to bridge loops. And repeat that process for this side as well. So hold shift to select both rings, right click and go to bridge edge loops. Now we can make our way back to the rear trunk area. And with face selection, let's select these 2 back faces and press shift D to duplicate. And let's right click to cancel movement. And we can use the move tool to slide this up and out the way. Now we just need to add some thickness. So let's press Alt E and let's go to extrude faces along normals. And then we can just drag up to add a little bit of thickness, left click to confirm this. And now we want to go back to the trunk and select these back 2 faces and then press delete. And let's delete the faces. Now back with the number 2 key, we can go to edge selection and select this back edge here, press E to extrude, right click to cancel the movement, and then we can use the arrow to drag it forward. And while this edge is still selected, hold shift and select the top edge and press F to bridge the gap between the 2. Now let's adjust this edge here at the bottom and just slide it back. Now we can double click to select this ring and press F to fill the gap and repeat the action for this side as well. Now we can deselect any selected faces and hover over the open trunk and press L to select the entirety of the component. Now we can use the rotate and move tool to better position this to be an open trunk. All right, now that we're done with that, I can show you how to turn on wireframe for your model without having to have your model selected to see the topology. So let's go to the object properties and let's go down to the viewport display. I want to just toggle on wireframe by checking it. Now I have a hotkey set up. It's a Shift Q for me. So when you see me doing that, that's just a hotkey that I set up. Now let's move forward. Let's press Shift A, go to Mesh, go to Cube. And now we're going to press Tab to enter edit mode. And we're just going to use the move tool to move this right above the top of the vehicle. And let's press S to downscale this. Use the move tool to better position this to be right on top. And this will make up the lights, guys. So let's go to face selection, bring this down, and we can use face select to select the front and back, and use the scale tool to scale this inwards. And you can make this as big or as small as you want to. Now we'll go to face selection. We're going to select this top face here. We want to press I to create an inset. And we'll just dial this in to about here. Press E, then extrude this upwards once you're satisfied. And then we're going to use the scaling tool to make this a bit wider to get a more stylized look. Now let's add some edge loops by pressing Control R. And we'll use the middle mouse to scroll to create multiple. And with the scale still active, we can just scale this inwards to make these closer. Now back in face selection, we can double click a ring to select the entirety all around and press Alt E to extrude along normals. And left click to confirm. And then we can press Tab to go back to object mode and reselect the vehicle. Press Tab to enter edit mode. And with face selection, we'll select this side face here. Press E to extrude outwards. Now we can begin working on the wheels. So let's press Shift A, go to Mesh, go to Cylinder to import a cylinder. Then we'll open up the menu and change the vertices from 32 to closer to 14. And with the move tool active, we'll just slide this out, press S to downscale this. And we can rotate this by pressing R, pressing 90, and then pressing Y. So it rotates it 90 degrees in the Y axis. And with the move tool, you can just better position this to your liking. So I just move it closer, then I press S, and I can just scale this in the Y axis. Better match a tire. Then I'll Shift D to duplicate this and just drag it out. That will be the wheel. Now I'm going to create a Boolean. So I'll select this cylinder here, hold Shift and select the vehicle. Then I'll go up to the top, go to Object. Then I go down to Bool tool, and at the bottom you'll see difference. Choose that. And if you don't have the Bool tool menu, you just need to go up to the top where it says Edit, go down to Preference. Ensure you're in the add-ons tab here, and at the search bar, just type in Bool and just check right here, Object Bool Tool. There you go. Now let's continue with the tutorial. Now with the Boolean cylinder selected, we're just going to Shift D to duplicate that and move the duplicate to match the rear. And then while that's selected, Shift, select the vehicle, go back up to the top to Object, go down to Bool Tool, and reselect Difference. And we're going to have that same Boolean cut out. And I said it's non-destructive, meaning I can still adjust this to be wherever I want it to be. We just want to position it to cover the back trunk area. Now let's select that copy of the cylinder we had earlier, and let's just move this in position. And we'll just downscale this so it fits perfectly to match a tire. Once satisfied, we'll press Tab to enter edit mode. After descaling this to be the tire size, we'll enter edit mode. Press I after selecting this face here, and then we'll just create an inset. And once satisfied, we'll just left click to confirm, press E to extrude, and we'll extrude inwards. Then we'll press I once again to create another inset. And once you're satisfied, press E, and we're just going to drag this out. And press Control B to create a bevel. And middle mouse scroll to add more segments if needed. And once complete, press Tab to exit edit mode and enter object mode. Shift D, and we're going to duplicate this to be the rear wheel. Now we'll just better fix this position. Now we need to confirm the Boolean. So let's select the vehicle and let's go to the Modifier tab and let's just apply all of these Booleans. Now we can go to the cylinders that created them and delete them. Afterwards, we have to ensure the vehicle is symmetrical. So select the vehicle, press Tab to enter edit mode, and press Control R to create an edge loop. Now let's go to face selection and delete one half of the vehicle. And we also need to delete the faces at the bottom of the cab as well. So the only thing that should be left is one half of the vehicle and the trunk. So let's hover over the trunk and press L to select the entirety and press P to create a selection. And creating a selection just separates the trunk from the rest of the vehicle. Now with the vehicle selected, we can go to the Modifier tab and we can add a mirror modifier to mirror it on the opposite end. And let's hit the drop down and select Apply. And if we rotate around, you can see the booleans on both sides now. Now let's reselect the vehicle, press Tab to enter edit mode, and let's choose Edge selection. Select the center line by double clicking it and press X or Delete and go to Dissolve Edges. That gets rid of that symmetrical line there down the center. Press Tab to enter object mode and let's shift select the trunk as well. Now we can press Ctrl J to combine the trunk with the vehicle once again. Now we need to mirror the wheels over to the other end, so let's select both of the tires, press Ctrl J to combine those two together and go to the Modifier tab and grab a mirror modifier. And let's grab the eyedropper tool and select the vehicle. Now you can apply it and see that the wheels are on the other end as well. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the series so far, and if you did, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.